Welcome to another episode of Don't Call It Smalll. I'm your host, Natasha Foreman. If you don't know about me and you have no clue what this podcast is all about, let me share a bit. I'm the CEO of Foreman & Associates, LLC, and Don't Call It Smalll is where we talk all things business, share tips and news that you can use, and highlight the people and ideas behind the products and services that we buy. To learn more about me and my company, please visit ForemanLLC.com. Last week, if you recall, I highlighted 4 amazing businesswomen. Can you remember them? Can you recall the names of the businesses? Did you follow and connect with them on social media? You know I asked you that from a previous episode about the other businesses that I highlighted. Did you go to their websites and sign up for their services or purchase their products? Did you visit their store locations? Remember, all of this sharing is so that we can engage and we can actually help support each other's businesses. So I'm going to shout them out again. Some of you may not have heard last week's episode. We highlighted Shasta Moore, the owner of DesignsByShasta.com, Barker Suri, co-founder and CEO of StrimHQ.com, Lady Sonia Music, Lady University and Music Industry Classes.com, powerhouse Lady Sonia Mwanda, and Atlanta realtor Michelle Roach. Oh, and let me remind you, tomorrow is the last day of the back to school special at Princess Hair Pizzazz, the hair salon for the little princess in your life. If you recall, I highlighted them in episode 6. So visit Princess Hair Pizzazz on Instagram or Facebook to retrieve their coupon so you can receive the $10 off of services. Now, today, we are going to highlight 4 more businesswomen. And guess what? They're all published authors. Yes. So let's start off with the first woman. This powerhouse. I've known her since 2010. We met, connected, and we've remained connected ever since. Whatever she's doing or sharing, I'm supporting. We're both Los Angeles, California natives and have so many shared relationships from California that I'm shocked that we didn't meet before moving to Georgia. She and her family have since moved back to California about a few years ago, but of course she comes to Atlanta whenever she gets the opportunity, and I'll be sharing with you about a future trip that she's going to be making here that I know you'll want to take part in. When you talk about financial empowerment and well-being, I think and say Patrice Washington. Known online as the Wisdom and Wealth Money Maven, Patrice C. Washington is the founder and CEO of Seek Wisdom, Find Wealth, a personal finance training and development firm focused on moving you from debt management to money mastery. That is the key. If you've never listened to Patrice, if you've never read any of her books, if you've never read anything that she's blogged about, if you've never heard an interview with her, if you haven't heard her on TV, radio, you don't know what you're missing out on. So that is one of the reasons I am sharing this amazing woman. In 2012, she published Real Money Answers, College Life and Beyond, and she wrote and published the Affirm Yourself to Wealth, 28 Days to Reset Your Mindset and Refresh Your Finances. In 2014, she published the book Real Money Answers for Men, the Ultimate Playbook for Financial Success. 2 years later, she published Real Money Answers for Every Woman, How to Win the Money Game with or Without a Man. Now, I've read all of those except for the Real Money Answers for Men. And maybe I should go back and read it for them so that I can be able to give my insight. But honestly, men, you need to tune in and to invest in that playbook. Patrice is not just talking the talk, she's walking the walk. She's a #1 best-selling author, captivating speaker, and she's a hope-restoring coach to women who want to do work in the world. But as she says, they believe they deserve to earn damn good money doing it. Amen to that, Patrice. What's also amazing is that Patrice isn't just, of course, speaking to women. There are a lot of men who are tuning into Patrice and all that she is bringing to the table. She's been the personal finance expert of both Steve Harvey's radio and television shows since 2014, as well as she's appeared in dozens of media outlets such as Dr. Oz on Fox and Friends. She's also been featured in hundreds of online and print publications such as the New York Post, Essence Magazine, Cosmo, and so many more. Her teachings go well beyond cutting coupons, budgeting, credit repair, the typical things that we see circulated online and in various workshops and seminars. Patrice is about redefining wealth, how to build it, and create a lasting legacy with it. She teaches you how to think, act, and leverage like the wealthy. Not just get out of debt, but how to build true wealth. She focuses on the whole you and helps you to reimagine the box that you've placed yourself within. She hosts her own podcast called Redefining Wealth that you can listen to directly from her website. You go to patricewashington.com and click on listen. You can also hear it on Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, and Podbean. And she has an app that you can download and you can listen directly from your phone that way. If you haven't seen her on her Redefining Wealth TV, you're missing out. Go to her website and click on watch and check out those videos. Now, if you recall earlier, I said that she's going to be coming to Atlanta. And folks that are in Atlanta, I hope you're paying attention and you mark your calendars, because October the 13th, she's going to be hosting a live podcast, allowing her listeners, social media followers, clients, book readers, and subscribers to come see her live and in person. She's going to be broadcasting live in Atlanta. I want you to imagine a Sunday afternoon meeting and connecting with Patrice, some of her guests who are going to join her on air, and other people who love what she is doing. To pay forward her gifts and her talents, this is one way that Patrice is investing back into all of us. She's going to be answering questions live. Of course, she's going to be taking plenty of pictures and much more. Space is limited. If you guys think that you can wait till October 1st to get your tickets, I'm going to tell you now, you're going to be looking pitiful. Hurry up and get your tickets. You need to visit her on social media to get all the details. I'm going to make you work for this. If this is something that you really want, if you are truly trying to get to the place of true wealth that starts within, then you're going to have to invest the time to go to Patrice on Instagram, Facebook, or Twitter, or all three. Her handle is Seek Wisdom PCW. Of course, PCW, those are her initials, right? Patrice, I love you, Queen. Keep shining. Keep sharing your light with others. Oh, my goodness. I'm telling you, folks, don't miss out. I fell in love with this woman spiritually in 2010. Anything that I can do for her, I will. Any way that I can reflect and show and point people in her direction, I will. As long as I breathe, I've got this woman's back, front, side to side, any way that I can. So please make sure that you connect with her, purchase her books, attend her live podcast. If you have an opportunity to attend any live event that she is speaking at, you better sign up. Now I want to pivot for a moment. Since I mentioned California in reference to Patrice, did you guys hear that last week Ford, Honda, Volkswagen, and BMW came to an agreement with the California Air Resources Board to improve fuel efficiency in their fleets? Yeah. Well, with this, it's a pushback on the White House's attempts to roll back emission standards across the country. See, the White House is concerned that emission standards may drive up car prices and that consumers will end up buying fewer new cars with the latest safety features. California is saying, wait a minute, we're concerned about climate change, and we don't believe that the administration is going to do anything to slow down the impact. So you see that there's a battle going on, right? And transportation is the single largest source of greenhouse gas emissions in this country. But reducing those emissions will depend on resolving these conflicting regulations. Automakers, we have the top four right now. We have some of the four big ones right now, and others are joining as I speak. They're hoping to pressure the White House into making a deal with California. I mean, we'll see how that goes, because we know that this White House administration does not do well with being pressured. So we'll see how that all goes. There are a lot of leadership lessons tied to this ordeal. You know, as I've shared with you guys before, that this episode is focusing on leadership. And when we look at what's happening right now, sometimes when you're trying to do your part to make the world better, to improve the living conditions, to help reduce your imprint, you may face huge pushback from forces that appear to be much greater than you. If you truly believe in what you're doing, you're going to have to push back. You're going to have to find a way to create some strategic alliances so that your presence is bigger and stronger, and you can actually achieve what you want to achieve. Now, speaking of leadership, let's transition to our next female business owner. This ray of light that I'm honored to share with you today is a Morehouse College professor, a liberating leadership coach, consultant, and a self-proclaimed fanatic. She's been my friend since 2010, and I love her. We used to be neighbors, and whenever we get a chance, we meet up for lunch to catch up, and we're long overdue for a lunch. Let me tell you a little bit about her. As a little girl growing up in Birmingham, Alabama, during the 1960s civil rights movement, Dr. Belinda Johnson White has been committing her life to the leadership development of men and women. Her vision is that 21st century global leaders will be faithful men and women who will embrace and nurture the principles, philosophies, skills, traits, and behaviors that will help not only improve their lives, but the organizations where they work, the communities where they live. And with passion and compassion, commitment and dedication, she strongly believes that these leaders will ultimately use those gifts and talents to help improve society as a whole. My dear friend Belinda is the founder of Building Leaders, LLC. It's an organization that's dedicated to providing clients with customized solutions to their leadership and professional needs, as well as their development needs. If you're looking for a leadership development model for the millennial generation, designed to build them into leaders and professionals that are ready to address 21st century challenges and beyond, you need to purchase her book. It's called Focus in Action is Great Leadership. And it's 10 tenets of leadership and professional excellence. Black Enterprise magazine highlighted the book as a must-read for millennials. And this isn't the only book that Dr. White has to offer you. In 2008, she co-authored the book. It's called The Advantage of Leadership from Leadership Experts. And then 4 years later, she wrote Leadership and Professional Development. You can get both of those online. Just type in the words, or just type in Dr. Belinda White, and those books will come up as well. Let me share more about Dr. White's role within the area of leadership. She teaches and consults in the areas of leadership and professional development. Her specific expertise and skills in developing young leaders, and especially those of color. So she's been at Morehouse, for over 20 years. She's developed a research-based proprietary model that's called the Johnson-White Leadership Model, JWLM, and it has been proven as best in class in addressing the various challenges that organizations face when they're trying to assimilate quickly the emerging diverse talent and being able to assimilate those into values and perspectives and competencies of professional culture, while making sure to respect diversity and inclusion, which oftentimes is a major challenge for organizations. And so she created this model to help with that. It's looking at how you can make these changes, how you can assimilate all of this, looking at diversity, inclusion, how a person can demonstrate their character, their integrity, and ethical behavior, and a beyond the game mindset. As you guys know, every podcast that I do, I talk about reimagining your box, reimagining the environment, reimagining the experiences you have. That's what a beyond the game mindset is all about. Her experiences comprise, oh my goodness, numerous publications. She's also done extensive international leadership training in over 20 countries, such as South Africa, Brazil, India, China, and France, just to name a few. She has worked with diverse profit organizations, for-profit and non-profit organizations. Let's see, there's Atlanta Falcons football, Goldman Sachs Global Leadership Institute, and Baxter Healthcare. Those are just a few. I want you guys to connect with her. You can check her out on LinkedIn as well as Twitter. Her handle is Dr. Belinda J. White. You can purchase her book wherever books are sold. She's an amazing woman. If you have an opportunity to have her come and speak to your organization, whatever organization it can be, community-based, religious-based, business-based, whatever the spectrum is, you definitely want to have Dr. Belinda White sharing with all of you. Now, we're on this Morehouse, and there's this other woman that I just have to share since she also works for Morehouse. I've known her since about, I think, 2013. And she always tells people that she stalked me for a while before finally introducing herself. So I may have met her in 2013, but she probably already knew about me before then. I'm not sure. I'm glad she did, though. I'm glad she stalked me, and I'm happy to call her a friend. She's the CEO of Global Edge Leadership Solutions, LLC. The mission of her company is to help create change agents identify their global purpose, create a pathway to global influence, and equip them to connect the dots between global vision and global influence. This visionary is no other than LaVanya Jones. Oh, what can I say about LaVanya? This amazing woman, she's a dynamic global leadership strategist and coach with over 15 years of business, ministry, and leadership experience. She's passionate, and she's armed with that passion to help equip an army of socially conscious leaders. That's what she says. Her mission is really simple: to help change agents connect the dots between their global vision and the global influence they desire, equipping them with the spiritual and practical tools they need so they can do business responsibly and lead opportunities to solve societal changes and challenges, right? If you really are trying to find a way to identify your global purpose and create a pathway to global influence, you should really consider reaching out to LaVanya. She specializes in working with driven. So, and she's very intentional by saying this. Driven, growth-oriented entrepreneurial leaders and organizations. So if you're slacked, if you need to be pushed, don't contact LaVanya. I can tell you now. So if you're driven, if you are focused on growth, if you're focused on positioning yourself in the marketplace as a global innovator, then you need to reach out to Coach Lavanya. She's equipped with a professional, no-nonsense approach to business. She has a proven track record for refocusing vision and pioneering solutions. This powerhouse, ladies and gentlemen, is also a sought-after executive coach, speaker, thought leader, author, and innovator. And she and her husband, Fred Jones, they just compiled a book that they've just recently released and they promoted on social media, and it's The Secrets of the Wealthy. The book is called Wealth Secrets of the 1%. It's available at dimensionsofwealth.com. Lavanya and her husband Fred are on a journey to educate others on the importance of financial literacy and building a legacy of wealth. You see, I'm tying in this leadership, I'm tying in the wealth creation. Wealth starts within. Can you guys see this common thread? Lavanya and Fred both have a passion for economic justice and development, and their goal is to see poverty eliminated in their lifetime. They're not playing around, right? They have a very, very hefty goal that they are focused on. The book that they just released, I believe, last week, on the 8th, it is available for free. You can download it. Anyone who's interested in building a legacy of wealth, please visit dimensionsofwealth.com to access the book. You can also learn more about Lavanya. You can contact her for coaching or any other services that she provides by visiting her website, lavanyajones.com. You can connect with her on Facebook and Instagram at Coach Lavanya Jones. On Twitter, her handle is Coach Lavanya. Now, something else. If you need some visual stimuli, you can check out her videos and trainings on YouTube at Coach Lavanya Jones. So go to youtube.com/user/Coach Lavanya Jones. So with that, I'm going to say this. I'm going to embarrass her. I'm going to pump her up. Go, Lavanya, go. I'm going to keep pushing you, woman. I'm so excited for you. I know what's ahead for you as far as his greatness, and I'm just going to keep lovingly pushing you and pushing you and pushing you. So here's one of my big pushes today. So Lavanya has me thinking about this global perspective and sticking within that framework and blending in the leadership and how we go about doing business globally. I want to share with you the ways that Europe is trying to pivot to avoid a recession. You know, we say recession and we start, clenching our throats. We start getting nervous. We start feeling a little itchy. From 2015 to 2018, Europe was performing strong economically. This year, however, has been an absolute struggle. I mean, Brexit has been a monkey wrench. That's an understatement, right? Then another biggie is that companies that are export dependent, they thought they could rely upon business from Asia, but that backfired because the U.S. and China are in a trade war. So they're looking like, what in the world are we going to do? Inflation in Europe is stuck below the 2% target level. So where's their saving? The life raft. Guess what? Europe needs Germany to shine bright in order to save all of Europe. I know you're like, what? Why Germany? Well, according to the Wall Street Journal, although Germany has roughly 1/4 of the population of the U.S., it still produces nearly the same share of total world exports as the U.S. Germany is Europe's biggest economy and biggest exporter. If there's trouble there, then there's trouble for companies and countries that feed into its supply chain. In manufacturing alone, Germany's business climate index is said to be, quote, in a free fall. So I want you to visualize a free fall. They're saying That is where their index is right now, just in manufacturing. And according to the IFO Institute, it hits, I think, its lowest point in more than I think about 9 years. So all of Europe is really counting on Germany, which means the rest of the world also better be rooting for Germany. And if you don't know why, it's because as their decline impacts the rest of us. This is a global economy, folks. It's not a one country economy. It's a global economy. So yes, especially the U.S., we better be rooting for Germany because we love our German imports. I know I do. Now, since I took you around the globe, let's keep traveling. This next woman. To keep up with this next businesswoman that I'm about to share with you, you better tie your running shoes real tight and stretch real good because this global trekker is always, I mean always on the go. I've known her since 2009 and I'm honored to have her as a friend. She's also a former neighbor of mine. We first met when I was doing consulting for a local photographer. She and her husband Claude, they represent track athletes from the U.S., Jamaica, the Bahamas, Estonia, Trinidad and Tobago, and Barbados. They represent track stars who've earned gold, silver, and bronze medals in the Olympics and meets and championships all around the world. She's traveled to over 37 countries, and I'm sure that this year alone that number's been jacked up to closer to 42, probably 45 knowing her. So I know you're wondering, who is this woman? Who is this powerhouse? She is Juanita McCarter-Bryan, and she is the Vice President, Authorized Athlete Representative for she and her husband's company, On Track Management Incorporated, where their motto is, we're medalists, call home. And I have met so many of their Olympic medalists that it is absolutely amazing what these two do and how they serve these athletes. I'm going to share some of the things that Juanita is responsible for in her role. And these are just some. She assists new clients with the transition from collegiate to professional track and field. She serves as the direct contact for media inquiries. She maintains social media campaigns, coordinates the travel for athlete competitions, and she accompanies them to competitions in Europe, the Caribbean, and Asia. Now you see why I said she is always, I mean always traveling. Now, Juanita's going to blush. I know she's going to. She's going to say, Natasha, why did you do this? But I can't help myself. I told you that this episode we're focusing on leadership and we're focusing on business women who are also published authors. In 2014, my friend Juanita published a book that touched my heart. The little girl in me got so excited. It's called Finesse or Faye. The Girl Who Could Touch the Sky. And let me tell you a little bit about this book. It's a story about a young girl who on her 12th birthday, she learns of a family secret that forces her to run away from home and away from her family. Her journey takes her through some very frightening situations and a complicated adventure where the sky is both her friend and her foe. And when you read this book, there are so many lessons learned along the way. The family secret is revealed, and that then opens up a whole world of drama. We know what happens when family secrets come to the surface, right? I truly, truly enjoyed reading this book, and the year it came out in 2014, I gifted copies to daughters of my friends, and now that I have some more young ladies that, right, now that they're old enough to read and enjoy the stories, thank you for all of my friends that keep cranking out kids. I have some more young ladies to gift books to. And I contacted Juanita last week and I told her I intend to buy more. There's also various nonprofits that focus on young girls, and I want to make sure that they have access to Juanita's book. Of course, when I told Juanita this last week, she said she wanted to gift them to the girls. And I was like, no. And if you know me, you know I'm not having that. I believe in supporting writers, businesses, family, and friends. So Juanita, I will be purchasing these books so that little and big girls all over can enjoy this story. If you want to purchase Juanita's book, go to Amazon. I'll also make sure that the direct link is on the Foreman Associates blog. To connect with Juanita on Twitter, it's Juanita Bryan, Bryan, INC. So Juanita Bryan, INC. On Instagram, she's JuanitaM.Bryan, Bryan. Of course, as I said, all of this will be on the blog. You need to visit ontrackmanagement.com to learn more about the company and what Juanita and her husband Claude provide their clients. Okay. Are you guys pumped up after hearing about these dynamic women and what they're doing in Georgia, the country, and all around the world? I mean, literally all around the world. I don't know about you, but I'm pumped. Matter of fact, I think I started breaking a little sweat. Sharing their stories makes me think of a quote that I want to share with all of you. It's from Shannon Allen, the Global Career Development Project Manager with General Motors. And she said, understand your strengths and passions. When you do what you love, it shows. Understand your strengths and passions. When you do what you love, it shows. I mean, I don't know about you, but it's clear to me that these women that I've highlighted today are doing what they love, and it most definitely shows. My girl Patrice Washington's purpose is to help you see the value in chasing purpose, not money. She says, quote, I believe that the life and prosperity you desire is your birthright. Wealth is not limited to money or material possessions. Its original meaning relates to well-being. And you know, I mentioned that earlier. It comes from within, right? Wealth starts within and it manifests outwardly. Rich, on the other hand, is outside on. And I'm going to have to give credit to my ex-husband, who's also Patrice's former boss, John Hope Bryant, because he's known for saying this. He taught me that. Wealth is inside out. Rich is outside on. Rich is the flossy, flashy retail therapy so many people obsess over. It can be short-lived. It can be reckless. Wealth is the layers of what comes from within. You have to invest within. You have to take care of mind, body, spirit, and soul to align with your outward efforts for the abundance to manifest in numerous ways. Today I've shared some super, super awesome women who are doing some super awesome things. These aren't the only women that I know of personally who are kicking butt in business and making the time to also share their gifts through authored books. I just don't have time to fit all of them in while ensuring that I can adequately highlight them individually. I want you to understand this. I don't want to skim over anyone's accomplishments. I don't want to gloss over them. They are bright lights and I want them to shine. So I will highlight more next week. You heard that correctly. Heck, I mean, I also personally know people who work hard to make other organizations great. They are the intrapreneurs for the entrepreneurs. And so they help make these other organizations great, and then they pour more greatness into amazing books. I can't wait to highlight those individuals and their talents. I'll be dedicating an entire episode to those men and women. So you'll stay tuned for that future episode. I think it's slated for episode, 11 or 12. And those are some amazing authors that I know of personally and some that I just know of indirectly, and I look forward to providing that. You know, as we're coming to that time, folks, I want to say I look forward to connecting with you here next week. Next Wednesday, episode 9 will be on leadership. And I will be highlighting 3 more business women who are also published authors. I'm bringing the heat again next week. So I'm going to also shout out several businesses from all around the country, led by some super duper awesome men and women. We asked on social media, if you looked on Foreman Associates, but also on my social media, for people to tag businesses that they wanted highlighted on this podcast. So next week I'll begin highlighting some of them. Yes. I'm going to quickly shout out some of those businesses now so they know. I'm going to give them some love now so they know that I will be doing a major highlight on them over the next few episodes. There's A2D Incorporated, Victory Detailing Group, Fountain and Fountain, Glow Beauty Group, Peach Label Costume, Top Notch Car Care, Curls and Potions. I also have some family members who have businesses that I want to highlight. I'm just going to quickly shout them out so I can put things in motion for my upcoming extensive highlights. So I want you guys to know this was not just your highlight. I'll be going extensively like I've done in the previous episodes. My cousin Andrea, aka Nikki, she's doing her thing with Savor Meals and More to Go. Oh my goodness, I wish her company was in Atlanta because they would see me on the regular. Her mother, my big cousin Terry, is the CEO of Terry's Beautiful Bodies. My cousin Kim, she's doing her thing as a digital marketer and copywriter through her company, Kimmy Inc. She also has a podcast called Sit With Us that I want to share with all of you. I know I have more relatives to shout out. Please charge it to my head and not my heart that I didn't give you a quick shout out. I promise to highlight all of you. I will make sure that I devote quality time to highlighting each of these businesses I've shouted out today in our future episodes. I have to gather my research on the ones I'm unfamiliar with and to make sure that if any of these companies are offering any specials or promos, hosting any events, etc., that I cover that as well. I'm not going to gloss over anyone. Every business and every owner behind that business will shine brightly on this podcast. So stay tuned. You don't want to miss our upcoming episodes. Make sure you have something to take notes with. Share this with your friends and family, colleagues. If you have any questions or suggestions about this show, please email them to us at don'tcallitsmallbiz, B-I-Z, @gmail.com. Like, follow, and share our post on IG and Facebook at Foreman and Associates. We're on Twitter at the number 4Man Associates. This podcast is also on Twitter at DCIS_biz with a Z podcast. You can follow me. Yes. I'm on Instagram and Facebook. Instagram at Ms. That's MS Natasha Foreman. On Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn, you can find me at Natasha L. Foreman. Let me leave you with these parting words. Summarizing my girl, Patrice Washington. Now is the time for you to start creating abundance in the areas that actually make life worthwhile. And don't forget what I tell you every single episode. Don't call what you're planning, thinking, dreaming, or doing little or small. Go big, go bold, or go nowhere. Have a super awesome day.